Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a bear cub. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. Below that, draw another circle as a guide for the body. Make this circle a bit bigger than the head circle. Don't overlap the head as you draw this shape. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. Inside the head, draw a curved horizontal line for a construction guide. Place this line slightly lower than the center of the circle. Above that, draw a vertical line for another construction guide. On the bottom half of the head, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. Pay attention to the size of this circle in relation to the head. Draw the top of the circle above the horizontal construction guide. On top of the head, draw two small arcs as guides for the ears. Draw the ears on either side of the vertical guide and don't make them too big. On the bottom left side of the body, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the front leg. Draw this line slightly shorter than the circle for the body. Add another vertical line to the right to make the shape of the leg thicker. At the bottom, draw a shape that's similar to a flat oval as a guide for the foot. Draw similar shapes to the right as guides for the other front leg. Make the lines for the leg slightly curved. Add a small oval-like shape at the bottom as a guide for the foot. On the bottom left side, draw another small oval-like shape as a guide for the hind foot. Make the top of this shape rounder than the bottom. Above that, draw a long curved line as a guide for the folded hind leg. This guide should be similar to a tall arc. Higher up, draw a shorter curved line as a guide for the rest of the body. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch two small circles for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the horizontal construction guide and on either side of the vertical guide. The eyes should be small in relation to the head. When you get the sizes and positions of the eyes right, darken the shapes. As you darken the shape on the left, make the sides slightly pointier for the corners of the eye. The eyes should be pretty close to the muzzle. Darken the shape on the right too, but make the sides pointier for the corners of the eye. Add a few short lines around the eyes for creases and fur. Use a few short strokes to create a furry texture. Inside the eyes, draw tiny circles for highlights. In the middle of the eyes, draw small circles and shade them in for the pupils. Add a few more short lines to emphasize the brows. Inside the muzzle, lightly sketch a small square-like shape for the nose. Place the nose slightly lower than the center of the muzzle. When you get the size and position of the nose right, darken the shape. Use a wavy line to darken the top edge. Curve the sides of the nose inward. Add a short line near the top. In the middle of the nose, draw two small ovals for the nostrils. Curve the sides of the nose in toward the nostrils. Draw a few short lines between the nostrils for creases. Darken the bottom edge of the shape. Below the nose, draw a short horizontal line for the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. The mouth should be very close to the bottom edge of the circle for the muzzle. Draw the sides of the muzzle along the path of the initial circle. Use angular lines as you draw this shape. Draw the top of the muzzle toward the inner corners of the eyes. Draw a curved line below the mouth for the chin. Darken the arc on the top left side of the head using short strokes to create the furry ear. Add a few short strokes at the bottom for the furry base of the ear. Draw a curved line inside for the edge of the ear. Use the arc on the right as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Use the main circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Make the top of the head flatter than the initial circle. Draw the sides of the head wider than the initial circle. As you draw the sides of the head, use a series of short strokes to create a furry texture. Add a few more lines within the shape to give the head structure. Add a few more lines around the eyes too to emphasize the brows. If you've made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Darken the shape under the middle part of the body to create the first front leg. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the guides to create a furry texture. Make the top of the leg longer so that it's close to the bottom of the head. The top of the leg should also be slightly wider than the bottom. Along the bottom part of the foot, draw small triangular shapes for the claws. Make the tips of the claws thin and pointy. Curve the front of the claws down. Use the big shape to the right as a guide to draw the other front leg the same way. Darken the shape using short strokes for a furry texture. Along the bottom of the foot, draw small triangular shapes for the claws. Don't overlap the first foot as you draw this foot. Add a few more small triangular shapes along the bottom edge of the hind foot for the other claws. Don't overlap the front foot as you draw these shapes. Now darken the tall arc using short strokes to create the furry hind leg. Darken the outer edges of the rest of the guides to finish the shape of the body. Use more short strokes to create a furry texture. Now erase the initial guidelines. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value across the entire body. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Inside the head, the fur radiates outward from the nose. In the body, the fur mainly has a vertical orientation. Leave a few sections blank to create highlights. Use dark values for shadows and light values for highlights. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. You can also use pencils with soft grade lead like 2B and 4B to create darker values. Use a thin eraser like a click eraser to erase sections of value and create clumps of fur on the coat. Draw the clumps of fur on the coat as thin shapes that go in the same direction. Add shadows under the clumps of fur to emphasize the shapes. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Add a few short strokes below the figure to create a grassy texture. If you'd like, you can add a rectangular shape to frame the figure. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the Bear Cub. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know in the comments what other animals you want to see me draw. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.